is lit today. Yeah.
Yo, what it do?
We are
folks?
live.
We are back. It's another episode of
Episode 91.
91. We got the guys Sahr Fanday in the building with us.
Yes, special guest appearance.
Got up early with us. What's going on, Sahr?
Man, everything's good, man.
Yeah.
Life, you know.
That's good.
Yeah.
We love to have a friend of the show. Double back on us.
Might have to lean up and talk into the
we might.
Exactly.
There we go. Yeah.
Sound a little echoey.
There you go.
There we go.
All right. No, we definitely appreciate you, sliding through, checking us out. I know you haven't been. Have you been to the studio yet?
No.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to tell you, Mac. Man, he's done his thing with the place. It's really not.
Nah, I got this thing set up.
Yeah, bro.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, definitely wanted to, delve into a lot of the things that you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? You have your hand in many pots. I like to view you as a Renaissance man as well. Like you know what I'm saying? You have a pulse of a lot of roles that are around you type shit. And I definitely wanted to delve into that. But before, we get into the weeds and whatnot, you want to give the people an intro that don't know you or maybe slightly familiar, don't know the whole background. Just let them know who you are, what you up to in the world. And yeah, we take it from there.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for having me again.
Of course.
For sure.
You already know.
My name is Sahr Fanday. I'm a video producer, A&R, manager. I do a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I'm a film worker more or less. Like I love film. Like that's how I got started in the game. That's what I'm still doing in the game. That's like my focus.
Hell yeah.
Film.
Yeah.
Like integrating film and music, film and TV, just film period.
Yeah. No, that's tough. And I feel like being a producer or like a manager and A&R and all this kind of stuff, I feel like there's a little mystery behind like what you actually do. Could you kind of like clear or give us a sense of what it takes to kind of get a project accomplished and like what your role is for any particular project or anything like that?
Oh yeah, so when a project comes in, usually I work with like 3 different directors right now, like 3 main. Yeah, so I'm really locked in with those guys. Anytime we get projects, they'll like hit me up like, "Yo, we got a project we want to work on." So from when the artist hits us up, like, "Yo, we want to work with you guys."
Mm-hmm.
So we'll come up with the treatment, we'll find the crew, find the location, find models.
It's usually the artist that's like hitting you up like, I want to work because they've seen like y'all work in the past type thing.
Yeah. It started to get like that in the past 2 years. Like people starting really to reach out to
y'all directly.
Yeah, because of the kind of videos we're creating and the teamwork they see being built around like what we're doing, especially like a lot of Maryland-based artists, especially like I want to thank all the signed artists in Maryland and the DMV who've been working with us. They've like been paying attention to what
I definitely heard of Mosh Pit before.
Yeah,
like his work is crazy.
His
work is crazy. So like,
you remember
I know
this shit
I
crazy.
Think you might have been the one
we
that
had
put me
little
on
marathons. So like, look at this
shit. He's crazy. So I know so I know he's a Maryland dude. The other 2 dudes you named, are they Maryland dudes as well?
Yeah, okay. Tyler's from Maryland. Yeah. Keyroof's also from Maryland. Both Silver Spring, Largo area.
Okay.
Mosh Pit's from Silver Spring. Like so, yeah, we all just linked up through the internet, like, yo, I want to work with you. And then it's just a meeting at Starbucks or meeting
Yep.
Shit, that's how me and Brooke linked up, low key.
Yes.
Yeah. So
met at a Starbucks.
It was literally, and this is another way, it was by shout out Kwaku.
Oh, no, yeah. That's
always
shout out. He linked us and then we had our first meeting in a Chipotle or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And then just been locked in ever since. It's crazy.
I wanted to rewind a little bit back, right when you said, now a lot of artists are coming to you because of the work that y'all did. What was it that y'all did to like plan for the future so that you building that portfolio up so then you could be like, yeah, so now in a few months time, in a few years time, like niggas gonna have to come with that rate.
Yeah.
So how is that like formulating it and like reaching out to try to like build the port that all y'all did together type shit?
Well, it really started us like we all just wanted more recognition.
Right.
Like that's what it really was. Like we all just wanted
like you're doing the work, but you feel like it's not getting enough attention or having enough impact type thing.
more or less attention. You know, like we were seeing, like, you know, we're doing all this work, but like, how can we grow this? Like, and
get compensated right so we could keep doing this shit.
ain't getting
Scale
compensated
it.
the right way. So like, how it really started, it was like most of the DMV directors and videographers, well, they start off as videographers.
Yeah.
So that take a videographer and turn him into a director. Like, yo, this is what a director does. Like, you don't do.
Can you explain like what
the difference?
What that difference is? A couple of things,
like from a videographer to a director.
Yeah. What were the things that you were like? Okay, if you want to be a director, these are the things you got to do.
Yeah. So I saw the scale. I was like, okay, you guys are getting these type of budgets, but like, bro, we can get like 10K, 30K budgets if we all work together and formulate a plan to everyone knows their position. You know what I'm saying? So we actually had to build that out. We took like our first AD, our first assistant director so as a director, you know, like, you just come up with the idea, you come on set and you manage everyone on that set. So like, what they were doing before is they were doing everything: lighting, directing, finding locations, talking to the models, doing everything at once. And I'm like, yo, you guys need to stop overloading your brain.
Right.
Yeah, you have help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's help out here. To people that want to work with you guys. Like, you just have to be willing to just let them into your world. So that's the bridge I created for. That's
really interesting, because I feel like it doesn't sound like it's hard to do, but it's kind of hard to do.
It's really hard.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're just kind of like, you know, in these creative positions, you really just be like locked in on your shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to even imagine that, like, if you were to tell me like you got people that want to work with you, it's kind of hard for me to even believe that. It's like, like, well, where are they?
Yeah, where are they?
And that's when the people skills come into play, right? Because now it's a matter of like really knowing how to talk to somebody and trying to like let them know about like a bigger picture and showing like how they are pivotal to it, but at the same time, like, yo, there's other pieces of the puzzle. Like, we can go further if we all band up type shit.
Yeah, and that was finding a team and finding role players is really hard, because a lot of people like say this, like, ItsNation, bringing someone else into your world to help you guys, like, you guys already built this. So it's like, you want to bring other people in, but you don't want them to just take over what you got going on. Like, you want to, like, yo, this is what we're doing. Can you fall in line to what we're doing and help us build this? So everyone I talked to, really, especially in the videographer world, like, a lot of people don't have help. So everyone was willing to be like, yo, I want to work with you. I want to work, like.
And their work is dope. Like, from what I've seen, especially Mosh Pit, that's the only person I've seen, so that's the only one I can speak about. Like,
Tyler shit's goes hard too.
I'm sure it is if he's working with you.
He directed the joint that you did with Kilo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that one was very hard. Y'all did a couple. Y'all did like 2 or 3.
Yeah, Tyler and Kilo are locked in like to another level. They've been working together for years. And then I just came in and started helping him with lighting, just setting things up, making sure everything is secure.
Right.
Like, so my role on set as a producer is really making sure everyone, at the end of the day, is making sure everyone gets home and make sure everyone gets compensated. You know, like, that's a big thing of mine, because I used to be on the road a lot before. I used to be on the road a lot. So like, getting everyone home was a big thing for me, you know, because we all got to get back home to our family. You know what I'm saying? And like, continue this. So that was a real big thing for me, and just keeping everyone together. You know,
that's real, because I was just on a set too. Shout out Cadell and Milan. They were producers of this film that I got to work with. They just on the show last week. And one thing that I was definitely mindful of was like, they're the whole set, the culture, attentive to the needs of every person on set, no matter how little of a role that they might need to do. It's like, yo, want to make sure you fed. Want to make sure like you could get home. Like, don't worry about those things. These are the things that when you're doing jobs to yourself, you have to think about. It's just me. I have to worry about all these type of things. But when you could be a part of a collective, it's good to know that you have people on your team that is like also like, yo, your well-being, like, that's number one. You know what I'm saying? We need you here to be able to do this shit. So no, that's definitely dope. That's definitely dope. So, yo, as you like shooting video, like you get into this producer role and things like that, is it only solely music? How do I see you also like ventured out? Like, I just seen you shot like something for mental health. I've seen in previous times you done stuff like Oprah. Like, tell me about like how do you venture out? How do you take it, leverage this, and then get onto different sets, different casts, and in the whole different realm outside of music?
Well, I started off doing a lot of corporate work.
Okay.
All right. So a little bit of my background. I started
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Give people give them the details, man. They
Yeah,
like, damn, let's do big shit, big producer. How
Big
you get
facts.
it?
yeah. So how I started off was I started off actually with Brooke. You know, like me and Brooke were doing videos together, running around from Maryland to New York, for Texas,
Yep,
South by
yep.
Southwest.
Richmond.
Yeah, man, just like actually starting the whole collective there. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
facts,
Like
facts,
starting that teamwork, trying to build
facts.
something. But everyone was so far away. We had homie Key in Virginia.
Shout out
We
Key.
had
Shout Isai.
yeah, we had Isai in Silver Spring. So we all had to like link up
Shout out
together.
Gene.
Yeah.
Gene in New York.
All right.
Yeah, so we had to like all come together somehow and like figure out, all right, you're a rapper, you do content. Let's take this on the road and like expand everyone's visibility. You know, and that's one thing I'm big on for artists is like get out of your home base and expand your visibility. Like you got $30, you got $50. Take that bus to New York, go and connect with some people. You know what I'm saying? Put that in a gas tank and all y'all hop in the car, get a box of pizza and grind it out for the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So like that sounds like the managing aspect, the A&R aspect of your, I guess your portfolio, right? Because I feel like I think we had talked about. I remember having this kind of conversation with Holmes.
Yeah.
Shout
I
out
remember.
Holmes.
I remember not the last time he was on early, but when we were on this a podcast, we were talking about how if you know how to work a camera, you can kind of be a lot of different roles. You know what I'm saying? You can be a manager. You can be kind of like an A&R. You can be all these kind of different things because you kind of know how to portray something in someone. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I feel like do you feel like that kind of allows you, like your background with cameras and everything like that, does that kind of allow you to, I guess, see the world in this kind of way where it's like, oh, I can, if I just show you off in this kind of way, it'll lead to this kind of result and like that kind of thing?
Every single time I get on set or work with an artist, every single time I have a huge vision for the artist that they don't even see themselves. I'm like, yo, we can take this from A to J real quick.
Yeah.
Like, really quick.
And do you feel like that's what like make them bring you into their world? Because you're like, damn, like I don't even know this nigga from
Nigga turned this into magic.
You got a whole plan, my current team though, we trying to figure this shit out, and you have this whole fucking rubric. So that's real, bro. Like that's like seeing somebody's master plan or blueprint for them, and it's like I'm not even like trying to like sell it to you. I'm like, here you go,
exactly.
Like here you go.
Yeah, and I learned that blueprint. Well, so I started off, running around with Brooke in New York and Maryland, but then I moved to New York and I started working with a group of people, and that ended up me getting a job at Revolt TV. That was my first industry job. You know, stepping into that world, that corporate world with all people of color, all, like different ethnicities, especially like all Black, walking into an office building where you're getting paid every week and everyone looks like you and everyone understands your back, where you came from, understands the struggles you go through. Like that paved the way and made me see a lot, you know what I'm saying? Especially from a corporate aspect, working with Diddy, being under that pressure every day, like the pressure of getting work done.
You used to see him in the office building type shit?
Man.
He used to be like walking around the office?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's crazy.
When Diddy comes to the office,
that's kind of crazy to think about.
When Diddy comes to the office, man, it's like the queen coming to an ant farm.
Yeah, it's like everybody got to be on their P's and Q's type shit.
Woo, everyone's running around making sure they got their P's and Q's in order, bro. It is crazy.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah,
but I feel like there's a lot to I feel like that's kind of a cool place to be in, where you, like you said, you have the security of at least knowing that you're going to get paid for what you're doing, but you also are in a space where you can learn from other people. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of like lean on other people if you need to. Like you're in that corporate environment, and I feel like a lot of freelancers, honestly, I feel like a lot of freelancers or people who do like work for themselves and stuff like that, they could gain something from spending a little bit of time in that environment, just to see like what structure looks like,
Yeah,
what structure and like teamwork looks like. You know what I'm saying?
Real
So,
teamwork,
yeah.
like non-biased teamwork. People not trying to hold you back. Everyone's trying to push.
Everybody's
forward.
trying to go towards a goal.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
But it's not about like, I mean, of course, in any, any collection of people, there's going to be those handful of people that, maybe they want the credit. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has their different motives, but for the most part, when you're in like that kind of corporate setting, I feel like you can get some valuable, like at least to like take elsewhere if you want to take it elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? So like that being said, what do you feel like you gained from Revolt that is kind of like timeless now, like that you can still, lean on, or like some values that you learned or some principles and just how you work? Like, what did you take away from there that you've used in your later on in your career?
All right. So when I started at Revolt, I was a cameraman. I was cameraman / assistant to Robert Alexander. He's a director. He does the Shop now on HBO.
Okay.
Oh, the Shop, nice.
Yeah, he produced and directed that. And
nice.
He just did a Cuddy's movie, Cuddy's doc.
The Extragalactic. Oh,
Intergalactic.
That's not a doc though. The Intergalactic thing on Netflix.
Yeah,
the cartoon joint.
Very
tough.
He did that, and then he just did Shaq's documentary.
That's very tough
I ain't
too.
watched that joint.
Yeah,
I haven't. I saw the first episode. Very, very well done. I haven't seen all of it, but like I got to just go back. It's on it's on HBO, right?
Oh, that was a movie. Okay. Word.
It might be a movie, but I saw like the beginning of it. I haven't. I know. I
ain't see the credits.
I know. I haven't seen all of it, but because I was watching it at my sister's crib, and then I left. But I was like, oh, I gotta finish this. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. So like being there as a cameraman, like I wanted to hold the camera, I wanted to shoot, but everyone there saw something else in me. They're like, yo, you are very resourceful. Like you know a lot of people. Like a lot of people. It's to the point where I was getting my friends on TV. I was getting my friends to come in the office like, hey, I got a commercial for you.
Yeah.
Hop in this commercial.
That's fucking tough.
So I got like 20 of my friends in different commercials and all that stuff working at Revolt. So my boss there, Robert, he was like, your skill is more set to like an A&R. Like you know how to find talent and bring them in. And like you see talent. Like you can find and pick talent. So like that's one thing. And like working with a lot of different other artists, a lot of older artists, they're like, yo, your eye is more impactful than your camera skills in a sense. Like, yeah, my camera skills are really good, but like my eye to see, put people in place is like crazy.
Yeah, it supersedes that.
Yeah, supersedes
that.
Yeah. Yeah, so like that's where my real value, like I took away from that. It was like,
oh, you learned that there.
Because
you like when you went there, you just thought I could use a camera.
You're like, I'm shooting.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Because like you kind of said it the same way in how you look at artists. It's like sometimes they don't see like what other people see. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't see like the actual value that they I guess produce. You know what I'm saying? And that shit kind of happened to you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's very interesting. Yeah, like kind of like a full circle kind of thing.
Yeah, which actually led me to my second corporate job. So right after Revolt, I went to BET as a assistant casting director. So I was like we were looking for hosts for 106 Park at the time. You know, oh bless your heart. So like we were looking for hosts at the time. So someone at Revolt I was working with was like, yo, you're so good at picking people and like finding people. I'm gonna hire you at BET to help me find talent. Like we're looking for more talent.
That's very tough. That's very tough.
Yeah, so that actually led me to get like another job in that field.
Yeah, yeah. That's tough, man. And I feel like that's awesome. But so when we move to like I guess the space that you're in now, are you more of like a freelancer? Are you more like moving on your own time? Or like what's kind of the way that you go about getting work now? Like how would you explain that?
Well, I'm still a freelancer. You know, I work for myself. You know, and I work with the homies. But we do reach out to a lot of artists. A lot of artists don't see it. So like
you do got to put yourself out there. You know,
you got to put yourself out there all the time. And like people are scared to like reach out to like people. I'm like, bro, just reach out to people. They're willing to talk to you if you ask the right questions. You know what I'm saying? Or like give yourself like offer something to help that person, you know, especially if you want to work with somebody, like offer your skills. You know what I'm saying?
100%. I try to tell people like one of the most valuable networking skills in itself is being able to add value to other situations that are outside yourself. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes like you can do that shit effortlessly. So it's like if it's really nothing to you, it's like you can actually show how you can really provide to this table. And now you can have that seat and now you can, you know what I'm saying, whatever you're trying to get out of the situation, you can get. I wanted to also shed a light on, you know, you have your own company as well too. Could you talk about like the premise of that, like FanDays? Like, because I see you like what we just literally talking about. You add value to a lot of sets, to a lot of productions, to a lot of networks that you're around. You get a lot of type of opportunities. Is that like how do you transition that into what you're doing for yourself now in your own company? What is the premise of that? What is, you know what I'm saying, what are you trying to do?
So FanDays is more, it's like a collective agency in a sense, management company, but first and foremost a video production company.
Okay.
You know, like I base myself just off of videos,
Right.
you know, and then everything else falls under that.
Okay.
So with FanDays, I created FanDays. Like FanDays is my last name. Like Fanday is my last name, and FanDays is more or less something I created just to give my friends a platform. I'm like everyone knows my last name from being in the industry,
Right.
so it's like, yo, I'm gonna use that to build my friends up.
Okay. Okay. That's real. That's real. And when does, because, you know, we've also talked a lot, like, you know, off air and shit like that, like how, you know, you have a big passion for film. Um, do you have any, like, you transition into that, like, do you have any like aspirations to do that shit in the near future? Like shoot maybe something a little larger production? Because I see you be killing with the visuals and they just get a more high profile type artist. But do you want to like ever like hit that little transition back to like the passion and get back? Because I know you came up like shooting like a lot of. I know you did some short films. I know what was the joint that you did with Neff?
I'm Not a Kid Anymore.
I'm Not a Kid Anymore. Like that was really dope. So do you want to get into like some type of those type projects for yourself?
Yeah, more or less based around the artist though, and that's coming 2023. Yeah, we got something down the pipeline. Yeah, already like brewing up, like in editing right now. So yeah.
Okay. All right. And another thing I definitely wanted to touch on, veering away from the creative side of things. Sahr be hitting me pretty daily for these bets, for these parlays.
No way.
Yeah, and I don't know now that I'm here with you. I'm like, I should have been referring you to this guy. This is the guy right here. I mean,
you be big on the sports betting? You big on the sports betting? I feel like I saw like a tweet or something of you recently talking about
something. We're going green all day.
Yeah, bruh. It's all about seeing green. Although I'm not gonna hold you up and having a down week, bruh. It's not been a good week. Hey, how about you?
Tom Brady, man.
He fucked me up a little bit. I don't know.
Tom Brady fucked me up last week when they lost to the Browns. That was stupid.
I'm not big on I stopped paying attention to sports because I'm super focused.
Bro,
like
entertainment in the last it's crazy. Like when I first learned how to like edit video, and that was like the thing that I was doing. I used to be a very diehard sports fanatic. Like any game on TV, I'm watching it, and I'm not doing anything else while I'm watching it. And it wasn't until I started getting into like actually like editing and enjoying it that I started to realize like, damn, I haven't watched. Like, I just don't be watching games anymore. And then like fast forward to maybe like 4 years ago, I started trying to watch games, and I'm just like, this is such a waste of time. I'm just like, this is such a waste. I'm spending 3 hours
forcing yourself to watch. Like I don't want
when
to
I started
watch
forcing myself to watch like Redskins games, I'm just like, this is such a waste of time, because it was in a time when like I didn't have my computer right next to my TV, so it's like I had to pick one. I had to be on my computer. I had to be on my. I had to watch TV. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, oh, this is such a big waste of time. But like now, there's ways to pay attention to sports without necessarily watching every single moment of it. But my bad. I feel like you were going somewhere with this, and then I kind of like veered it off. But you were saying something about Tom Brady and like watching that game, weren't you?
Yeah. So like, so I haven't been really paying attention to sports, and once I started putting money on these sports games, I had to pay attention, and I understood why all my friends were like yelling at the TV all the time, and like
you're like, now invested.
Like I get it, like bruh,
you're now invested, especially when niggas is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, bruh.
Fact, but like I want to talk like your approach to it too. Like sometimes you won't even like you will do it based off the analytics, right? Because I remember you talk on this like you don't have to watch this shit at all.
Yeah, I
Many
remember I
people
was
just
telling
come up off
you.
this like I don't watch the sports.
I remember I was
just
telling
see
you
the numbers.
some of my best sports are baseball and college basketball, and I don't. And those are like the two sports that I don't even watch. Like I watch college basketball a little bit more now, just because I feel like I could learn a little bit or have more informed bets by watching the games. But baseball, I don't watch at all, and I did pretty well last season. But yeah, I'm pretty like numbers based. But that's how my brain works anyway. Like this is something that I started to realize like in the last like couple years is that when I was young, I was really good at math, but when I went to college, I studied like biology, science. But I've just always been interested in numbers and shit like that. So I started putting, stats in spreadsheets when I learned like how to manipulate spreadsheets.
Yeah.
So now I get really nerdy about just trying to find edges with bets. You know what I'm saying? And try to use statistics to try to predict what's going to happen, because that's what like all these IT guys do. That's what like all these big data companies do. And it's crazy because like when I first got into betting, I was very much like a dog. Just because something happened in the past doesn't mean that that's going to happen in the future. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could decide tomorrow I'm never doing this again, and then that's just that. It doesn't matter about the past. So so anytime people would be like, oh well, like in the last 10 years the Patriots are 9-0 against the Cardinals or whatever the fuck. I'm like, that doesn't mean that the Cardinals won't beat them tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But
unpredictable.
But there is something to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's something to it. Like, it's not saying that like that's what's gonna happen this time, but it's like it's more likely to continue
of it happening.
Yeah, it's more likely to like whatever trend from the past is more likely to continue in the future. And that's kind of something that I learned. It's like when you're betting, you're not looking for the like there is no 100% positive answer. There is none. You're looking for the most probable outcomes. You know what I'm saying? So like when I'm like just looking at the casual bettors and they're betting on, teams or people that they fuck with, it's like I don't really take that approach because I bet on what I can expect.
Lakers burn me every time I do them. I'm like,
funny.
damn, that's
it's funny,
crazy.
Bro, because like in the beginning of the season, like, and it's crazy because like there's actually teams I like to stay away from, and like the Lakers is one of them, just because like they're such an emotionally driven team by the country. You know what I'm saying? Like the Cowboys, the Lakers, like everybody in the country has a feeling about those teams. So it's like those are teams that I don't necessarily like to pay attention to, because you turn on the TV, Stephen A. Smith might be saying like the Lakers suck. You turn on another channel, that person might be saying the Lakers are great. And it's like you don't know what to listen to. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is that like I bet on the Lakers to beat the Wizards the other day, just because I was like, the Lakers they've been on a roll. They were underdogs against the Wizards, which I just thought it didn't look right to me. So I bet on that and hit. But it's like I don't really bet on the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? I just when I see something that kind of like makes sense to me, then I'll bet on that.
That boy,
you know
AD went crazy.
Yeah, that's what I do more or less. I bet on what's like what makes more sense.
Yeah.
I do go by the stats now. Like, well, I've always went by the stats. Like once someone broke it down to me, and I was like, all right, like I gotta really and weather of a game, weather in a different city.
That's
injuries that happen right
Facts.
before the game, like someone gets
the injury reports, you need that.
Like, you ain't.
There's so much that goes to it. I was just
that is like, you playing Miami? Oh, y'all ain't playing no cold weather state yet. Damn, that shit might fuck you up.
Nah, facts. I hear what you're saying, but no, there's so many different like edges that people get. But that's why I'm like, this is kind of like a long haul play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for me at least, like this is something that I've been doing this probably like for 3 years.
You
and
more
I've been
up than you down. So I guess that's the whole.
For sure.
That's the whole motive.
For sure. But the thing is, it's like deliberate. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not by. If you ask me, it's not by accident. Really, because the first year that I was doing this, first of all, like my first like week, I got lucky. Like I hit my first parlay I ever played.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I had my first 3 parlays.
The first part, yeah,
and then I was on like,
bro, beginner's
like
luck
they
is
couldn't
really
know.
on
You'd be
me,
like,
bro.
yo, I'm kind of good at this.
Really, yeah, I'm like, I'm good at this. I'm like, no, this is me. I'm like, this. Why did I find this so late? That's literally what I was thinking. I was like, yo, I know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm coming for all the books. And then, literally just give it a little bit of time and I lost all that bread. You know what I'm saying? And then I continued to lose bread. Yeah. It wasn't until like I was just but it's such an interesting way of making money that I'm like, I just need to figure this out because people, like, I look at it literally like an investment. I feel like it's the exact same thing as investing in stocks or crypto or anything like that. It's just you get your result in a couple of hours as opposed to getting your result in a few months or a few years. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, betting on a stock is literally, doing whatever analysis you do and then putting your money right there and then hoping that it does what you thought it was supposed to do. This is literally what sports betting is. You know what I'm saying? It's just that the game is over in 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? The return time is quicker. But like, I say that to say that I definitely had to develop some kind of like thought process, some kind of strategy, and then also develop the stomach to, when you do have a bad day, you still got to like play again tomorrow and like do the same analysis and do the same whatever tomorrow. And then when you have a great day, you got to do the same thing and know that you could have a bad day. There's no it's ebbs and flows. You know what I'm saying? There's no like I'll come on here and I'll say, oh, I'm on a heater, but like I also will come on here and say that I'm having a bad week because like it happens, like both happen. But you have to be. To me, it's like you just got to be like deliberate about what you're doing. And also, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that I do it for the long term for a reason, because like, if you're a casual bettor, do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have advice for casual bettors. And also too, I do feel like it's just like it could be just fun. Like, to me, the only fun. The only few times I started doing it was just because like I'm watching these games anyway. Like, let me not, like, why not like put $20? I'm pretty informed. Like, let me not, like, why not just put $20, $50 on this? And then if it happens, I'm lit. If
That's
it don't,
something I don't do. I've never put more than $10 on a bet.
Yeah. Well, so when I say I had to develop a new strategy, I definitely started off only doing parlays. You know what I'm saying? Now I do straight bets. You know what I'm saying? So I'll put $100 on a straight bet, and then I might put $5 on a parlay. I'll put $100 on like maybe 3 or 4 straight bets in a day. I usually wager anywhere between like $3 to $4 or $300 to $500 a day. But like, it's things that like I know, I gotta know that this is a high probability of hitting. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're depending on 2, 3, 4 things to happen, that's like, that doesn't matter how much of a guarantee you think it is. When you said AD and I scoffed, it was because, bro, like I literally put in a bet. AD's been going crazy, bro. He had 40 points. He had 55 points. This nigga's been going nuts. And this nigga had the flu.
Like, what the fuck?
The night that I put him on a parlay to score 25 points, this nigga had the flu. I've never heard of a nigga leaving the game. Yo, he caught the flu in the middle of the
Twitter,
game.
The Instagram.
But it's funny because like nothing was talking about he had flu-like symptoms before the game. He was not on the injury report.
You gotta find the girlfriend, man. You gotta.
No, that's a big fact. Like, people on Twitter, like, you got to follow those like beat writers on Twitter. You got to like, I got this app called FanDuel Scout.
Somebody said
you got to have these like things that you can get your information from. That's important. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important to try to like make the most informed bets as possible. And that's the first 3 days of December. So basically, kind of like, basically kind of like evened out. It helped me right for this low spell. You know what I'm saying? So it's just interesting, and but to me, it's just like an extra way to make bread. You know what I'm saying? It's not what I do for a living. Although I wouldn't be opposed to doing it,
especially with the World Cup going on.
I wouldn't be opposed.
I'm super intrigued with the World Cup.
Oh, yeah, you know,
I've been betting on the World Cup too, and I don't even really watch soccer like that.
Yeah, World Cup lit. I do fuck with it.
World Cup is cool though. I like to watch. I was watching the U.S. games.
Watching the greats play each other, like,
nah, it's you know what's funny? You know what I will say, because I've been watching
the fans and everything.
Nah, yeah, the World Cup is definitely a vibe, because I'm kind of downplaying it. I've watched a few more games
when World Cup come. I've
actually watched a few of the World Cup games, and they've been super entertaining. They've been hella entertaining, bro. Like, even these joints that end like 1-1 or 1-1, 1-2.
Because many times you thought niggas would score. What the fuck?
There be hella
yo, the
like
overs, the overs on the soccer be hitting like the over 1.5 goals scored, like collectively, like
or the like one shot on target.
Right. To just add to the parlay, like a little bit.
My sister actually,
it.
my sister been the one that's been sending me the World Cup bet. She's been
No,
she's been doing
yeah,
her
that's
thing.
tough.
So like,
That's tough.
she's been my
Shout out to
counsel for the
Phil.
World Cup. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out
But
to Phil.
nah, yeah. So that's lit.
I was gonna say too, yo, you just dropped considerably. You know what I'm saying? One of your biggest projects to date. Can you tell us the
joint with
process with the B Slime
The
and
Thugger joint.
Young
Yeah, I
Thug
just saw
video?
that. Yeah,
you was a
that's very
producer
tough.
on that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that's
man.
very lit.
What's it like
very,
working with
very
Thug?
lit. You know what I'm saying? How was
It
that?
bro? Working with Thug is great.
Yeah.
Like that's all. Is great. Like he showed up on time. He actually showed up early. He showed up. He did everything we asked him to do. You know, mind you, like you hear all these stories about different artists. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're hard to
I've heard
work
stories
with.
about Thug even.
Yeah, like hard to
I think
work
they made a
with.
music.
They
Did you
don't
ever?
show- They don't
you
even
saw
show
that?
up. Blah blah blah.
Did you see that music video? Wyclef Jean when they had to do it without him because he
Yeah,
showed up so late.
Hey, that's crazy. That's
But the
crazy.
way-
I didn't
but
know
they
that.
made the
music video without him in it.
Yeah, but the way they flipped that and made the money useful,
Bruh,
for
that shit was
day,
actually
Yeah,
very
that's tough.
tough.
All those
That's very.
people was
It was
tight.
like even in the commentary, like it was like Thug didn't show up yet, so we're just gonna shoot this part. It's
Right.
like written in the video. But yeah, speak on that experience.
Yeah, man. We got Mosh Pit actually hit me. He's like, "Yo, I think we got a video with Thug." I'm like, "What are we gonna do?" He's like, "We're gonna have him build cars." Like for real? Like yeah.
Also mechanic shit.
Yeah, some mechanic shit. Yeah, like yo, Mosh's ideas, like the way he sees things in the world is like crazy. Like, yeah. So yeah, got the call to work with Thug and B Slime. Well, it's B Slime's song featuring Thug. They're actually cousins.
Yeah,
Like,
I think I saw that.
Yeah, really good cousins.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
No, I think I saw that. That's his uncle.
Oh, uncle.
Yeah. I think his Thug's sister is his mom.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So the connection was through Thug, and Thug wanted it shot for his nephew, basically, type shit.
Well, no, but B
Oh, y'all
Slime.
connected
It's
with
his song.
Slime.
And he
Yeah.
just happens to be on the song.
Yeah, no, well, yeah. So Thug just happened to be on the song, but B Slime wanted to work with us.
Okay.
But it's crazy because I reach out to a lot of people. Like if you go to your DMs, I probably have
Sahr's probably in there.
Probably in there somewhere.
Need a
Right.
video? Probably in
Yeah,
there.
need a video or like, yo, let's collab, let's do something.
Yeah, no, that's hard though.
I hit him up and like a few years ago. It was I forget the date, but I hit him a few years ago. I was like, yo, you got to work with the same people I mentioned, Kiru, Tyler B, and Mosh Pit. Like, you got to work with us, blah, blah. So when we got on set, you know what I'm saying, I'm introducing myself and we're talking. I was like, bro, I've been trying to tap in with you like years ago, like when we first were kicking this off.
Right.
And he was like, for real? I was like, yeah, like, bro, check your DMs.
Yeah,
Check your DMs. Like, yo, I could have been had this.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So yeah, we're working with the whole YSL. That was an awesome experience. Like super awesome.
Where was that shot?
We went to Atlanta for that.
Oh, y'all went down there.
Yeah. So me, Mosh Pit, London Zala, she's a model. We all went down to the A and got that done with a few guys out there also.
That's
so I'm kind of curious about how like the budgeting of all that type of stuff works. Like when you have to like pick up and go. So they basically just decide like, we want to work with y'all. Like we fuck with y'all. We want to work with y'all. So how do you handle like making sure everybody gets what they're supposed to get from there?
Breaking down the budget. From sometimes the label comes to us and they're like, all right, this is what we have, you know, like we want you to do this in this certain parameters. Or sometimes they're like, yo, what would this cost? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, it's really just getting the budget and breaking it down to first paying everybody, how much the location's going to cost, and then like tweaking it from there.
And so so like the fact that you have to like go to you include all of that.
Flights are included, food for so sometimes we got to Atlanta the day before. So everyone we had to get flights for everybody, make sure everyone had food from when they left their house to the time they get back to their house. Especially the people who try. Like I make sure everyone like doesn't spend money. Like don't spend their own money. You know what I'm saying? Like we got this
not
budget.
on this trip.
We got this budget for a reason, and we're going to make sure everyone is fed well and taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So from the snacks at the airport to being on set, before set. Yeah.
And you is that's kind of like your role within y'all's production company right now, is like you're the one that's negotiating that and talking to what the label about that? Are you talking to the artist about that? Like,
well, we're talking to most of the times we're talking to the label,
mm-hmm.
you know, because most of the guys who are signed, if not, we're talking to a manager or the artist.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually me and Mosh Pit talking to these labels and getting in the order.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. I feel like there's just some mystery behind that, especially for people who are creatives and they got to handle these things themselves. It's like
So just think about a producer as a manager. I'm making sure just what Mosh needs, like everything is taken, so he can just focus on the creative. Like just focus on
that's
like, bro, all right, like you want this person, you want that person there, you want this gaffer, you want that. Like, all right, I got to get all that for you so you can just focus on creating this world you want to create.
That's fire.
Right.
And I feel like, yeah, man, that's fire.
And so you ask the rate of your like staff type shit, or do you just tell the stipulations like what you need and they tell you a number and you see how you divvy it? Or is it like, nah, I gotta make sure I see like my director number, what they need, what, like, you know what I'm saying, my gaffer, what they need. I need to see all their numbers, and then we gotta put it to something and then pitch that to y'all. Yeah,
first is finding like the big things that really on the set is like location, price, talent, like other talent you need to hire, prices, any permits you need to get, and paying your crew. So that's one of the main things is, all right, so I'm like, all right, what do you need to be compensated off of this? And then I hit up the DP, if we have a DP, a gaffer, hit up the PAs, everyone, like, yo, or I tell them this is what I can give you at this, because I usually work with everyone again. So and just my network of people, everyone like knows my heart. Like I'm not trying to like
get over on anybody.
Get over or like skim you down on your price. So on the next one, I'm making sure I got your full rate, maybe extra. You know what I'm saying?
That's very fire. That's very fire.
That's true.
And I feel like that's very. I appreciate you sharing that, because I feel like that's for people who are coming up and they're trying to, there's people who do these freelance gigs and it's like they don't know if they're supposed to also like charge for food, and what I'm saying, it's like sometimes they're just charging for the work, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, but it's like I'm also coming out of pocket to get here.
Post work too.
The post work, 100%. Paying your editor. Editing is one of the big factors, especially with the work that we do.
With the work that y'all do, y'all videos be fucking crazy.
Yeah, because it takes like days, and I mean like day and night from you waking up, not sleep. It's like 18-hour days, like 20-hour days
to edit those things.
To edit those things.
100%.
And what's like the turnaround time as far as like from ending the shoot to having the final video?
That all depends on how
much shit's going on.
Life itself.
Oh, that part too.
Like just life. There's so many factors.
That was a one-day shoot?
That was a one-day shoot.
Okay.
It took the label wanted it back in 10 days. We got it back in 8. But
and that was
so you're working 8 days nonstop to do that, because like I just knowing the kind of videos that y'all do, like that's no small editing task. So, not even just the editing, but the rendering. I'm sure it takes fucking a long ass time.
It's a quick turnaround for some high intensive editing.
Yeah, like the editing work that we do is a lot of 3D After Effects stuff. New CGI stuff, like
takes
and it was
time.
all in green screen. It was all one location. Like y'all didn't even move. It was y'all just made it. Y'all manipulated that green screen to make it look like
different worlds.
Yeah, all those different worlds. Yeah,
very
so
tough.
It take like the editing process. You're really just sitting in front of the computer all day, not picking up your phone. Like just focus, because you're
thanks for saying this out loud. So all the people that watch that be wondering where I'm at with the videos, bro. It takes all fucking day. And I got shit to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I got other things to do. There's one aspect of my life that takes a long fucking time. So thank you for saying that.
Especially if your videos don't look the same. Like you're creating new
every time
things.
Yeah. That imagination has to brew. You know what I'm
messing
saying?
with new programs.
You got to learn that. Yeah.
Like going on Reddit to find out like how to actually work this.
And it's funny, something also too that like doesn't really it's kind of hard to just explain these nuances of editing videos. It's like I was editing a podcast, and I'm putting the video from like the memory card onto Premiere, and it's just saying it's not reading the video, and I'm just like, bro, like this is literally like my 1000th joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean all of a sudden you're not? And I don't really change the files of the codecs and stuff like that of my videos. You know what I'm saying? So like, it came from a camera that I always use. So like, Nothing changed on my end. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
things
all
like
of a
that
sudden,
happen.
things like that happen. And all of a sudden, and this is an era I've never seen before.
Mhm.
So I'm like on YouTube for like 3 hours just trying to figure out how to get the shit to just read a
Facts.
video that it always
Like, what the
reads.
fuck?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but like by the time I figured it out, I was like, you know, I need a break. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I take a break, and it's like I hadn't even started the fucking video yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but also too, bro, like this just happened. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy how like these little things happen. It's like you think in your head, oh, like as you're shooting, you're like, okay, like you know how long this is going to take you to edit, and then you get to the editing table and like all these things come up, and it's like, damn, like I've spent more time trying to figure this thing out than I have actually like cutting up the video, and I still got to cut up the video.
And
so
that's all things, all factors you got.
And then rendering issues. I've been experiencing. I feel like I might. This is me just going on a soapbox. I think I might just need a new computer. But like my rendering has been going crazy. I'd be like, I'll render something, bro. It'll render for the whole day. I play the video, it won't play. So now I gotta render it all over again and take another 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Having the computer to handle that, whatever the project scale is important.
It's not all universal. Like every project is not created the same.
It's funny how like you even mentioned that how going into editing and all of that, it'll force you to get into the tech of it. You're like, yo, you have to know with the hardware. Like I had to learn this. I thought it was just software. Like, no, I actually have to have the hardware so this shit operates. And it's funny how now niggas is venturing into the world of IT, tech, code, and all of that shit. Now a lot of this shit starts to make like a little bit more sense. But it's like, yeah, it's funny. All of this shit's just like correlated. But man.
But I think it's at least for me, I'm glad that we got to speak on that, because that's like a frustration that goes untalked about. You know what I'm saying? But Sahr, bro, appreciate you coming through, man. Getting up early with us.
100%.
This has been a dope convo. This has been a dope convo. It's been long overdue. If you haven't, we got an episode of this a podcast together
on the SoundCloud.
I don't remember.
It's
still on SoundCloud.
That's the only platform though, right?
I think it's on like podcast platforms.
Oh, word.
Like Apple and all that type of stuff. So you can anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find this podcast.
Check it out,
for sure. So definitely go back, check out that episode. I can't remember what number it was, but it was one of the later ones because you were in the new studio or the studio that I had that time.
I think I was like I think I was under 30.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Okay. So definitely go check that out. But also, you got so much shit going on these days that, you know what I'm saying, niggas need to just tap in with you on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's where you're mainly at. Twitter, Instagram.
My Instagram is FAN.DAYS, FanDays. My Twitter is Sahr4K.